It was a long, long, long day filled with a mix and myriad of emotions. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B. And yeah, I guess we're feeling a lot better about ourselves now than we were earlier today, as the Phillies, in a very unusual way, were able to pull a split of the doubleheader today, losing in the first game 13-4, and then coming back and waking up majorly and offensively in the second game 8-2. And then you couple that with the Milwaukee Brewer loss tonight, and the Phillies find themselves back in that third position, half a game back, or half a game ahead of the Brewers, and now the magic number has been reduced to 3. And how did we get here? Well, I mean, we got here in a weird way. I know a lot of you out there, to include myself, were really, really pissed by the way the Phillies came out earlier today, in a game that they needed, in a game that they needed to have, and they just came up flat yet again. And Kyle Gibson, once again, by my estimations, this is his third very weak start in a row, and that's the reason why the Phillies kind of were in the position they were. Uh, Thompson stuck with Gibson throughout that game. I don't know if that was because of just trying to save the bullpen, but Gibson didn't have it, and it was just a very frustrating game. The offense was asleep yet again, and just a very frustrating way to lose. And I wasn't feeling good coming out of that first game. I wasn't. I just this offense takes you from all kinds of emotions, from the top of the mountains down to the bottom of the ocean. And today was the don't come up too fast. You might get the bends type of emotion as far as the bottom. And then they come out in the second game, hit 5 home runs for the fourth time this season, by the way, en route to an 8-2 blowout victory over the Nationals. And then, as I mentioned, coupled with the Brewer loss, find themselves now with the magic number of 3, and remain and still a half a game in uh in that last wild card spot here, as we are coming down the stretch. Just 4 games left in the regular season. Unbelievable. Talk about a tale of two games. Unreal. What's going on, Matt B? Not much, Dave. Yeah, it is unreal. It's very unreal that what this team has put me through today, and us through today, and us through basically all season. Let's get over to the first game, shall we? The Phillies would finish the first game with 4 runs on 7 hits. The Nationals 13 runs, 14 hits, and an error. How the scoring went down, it was early and often for the Nationals. Actually, it started with a very weird play, a little league play in the top of the first inning with Kyle Schwarber stealing home. Bryce Harper feints the move to second, drawing a throw down to second. Then Kyle Schwarber pretty much just walks home to get the Phillies up on the board 1-0. An interesting way and a creative way to produce a run, and I got to give Rob Thompson kudos for that. This team has been desperate for runs, and they were able to get one in a very creative way. So I got to give him kudos for that. But that lead would not last long at all. Matter of fact, it would just last that top of that inning. Luis Garcia would knock in Lane Thompson in the bottom of the first to tie things up at 1. And then it was all Nationals pretty much from that point forward. Joey Meneses doubled in Riley Adams and Lane Thompson and C.J. Abrams to make it 4-1. Then Luke Voigt would homer a 2-run shot to make it 6-1, and that's how the inning ended. The Phillies would try to get back into this thing in the fourth. Castellanos would knock in Remuto, making it 6-2. Segura then with fielder's choice in Castellanos. And then Bryson Stott would reach on an infield single, scoring Brandon Marsh 6-4. And then it was done after that. Joey Meneses with a homer in the fifth, making it 7-4. Luis Garcia would knock in Joey Meneses to make it 8-4. Vargas would knock in Luke Voigt. This is all in the seventh, by the way. Vargas would knock in Luke Voigt to make it 9-4. Robles would then sack fly in Garcia 10-4. Luis Garcia would homer, making it 13-4, and that's how your scoring would end. In that game on the offensive individual side, Kyle Schwarber 1-for-3 with a run, a stolen base, and a walk. Derek Hall was 0-for-1, made an appearance as a pinch hitter late. Brees Hoskins was 0-for-4. Bryce was 0-for-3 with a stolen base and a walk. JT 2-for-4. It was nice to see him kind of get back on the right side of things. Alec Boehm 0-for-4. Nick Castellanos 1-for-4 with an RBI and a run scored. Brandon Marsh 1 for 3. Gene Segura 1 for 3, and Bryson Stott pretty much was the end of it. There 1 for 3 as well. For the Nationals, Lane Thompson was 1 for 4 with 2 hits. C.J. Abrams 3 for 5 with a run. Joey Meneses was 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs in that home run. Luke Voigt was 2 for 5 with 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Luis Garcia 3 for 5, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, and a home run. Vargas was 1 for 4 with an RBI, and then Victor Robles was 0 for 3 with an RBI. I'm gonna give my offensive player of the game honors in Game 1 for the Phillies. I'm gonna give it to um, hmm, yeah, I'm not gonna give it to anybody. No, I'm not. I'm gonna hold off on it because I guess you could make a case for JT, but I'm gonna hold off on that one uh, for this game. On the pitching side, as I mentioned, Kyle Gibson, very a weird way to keep him in this game. He didn't have it. They left him around for 6 innings, gave up 8 hits, 7 runs. They were all earned. He walked 2. He did scatter 7 strikeouts along the way. Nick Nelson came in for a very ineffective third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs. They were earned, 2 walks. Then Davinsky was just equally as ineffective for an inning and a third. 3 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He did have 2 strikeouts, and Nick Maton came in to pitch in that utility role. Infielder saved the bullpen role. For the Nationals, Anibal Sanchez gets the win. He's now 4-6 with 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. Struck out 6 and walked 3. Harvey and Machado would pitch as well, and that's how you have 13-4 Nationals in Game 1. And everybody was obviously not feeling well at the end of that game. You get to this point in the season, and you're fighting for every run that you can have. And this was a series that the Phillies needed, and I say they needed to sweep. A lot of people were going off of the assumption they needed to take 3 for 4. But when you get into this game and your pitcher doesn't have it early, you get down early, you battle your way back in, and then the bullpen comes in, and coupled with Kyle Gibson imploding completely, and it just gets away from you. You should never get. There should never be a game that gets away from you against the Washington Nationals, and that happened to the Phillies, especially when you're chasing a playoff spot. Today's should not happen ever, but it did, and the Phillies came off the field. I don't know. I don't know how they were feeling. I know how I was feeling. It was pretty demoralizing. So that was your first game action, and then a little bit later on, around 7:05, the Phillies and Nationals right back at it. This time, a little bit more favorable. The Phillies would finish this game with 8 runs, 10 hits, and an error. The Nationals 2 runs, 6 hits, and an error. And how the scoring happened in Game 2. Kyle Schwarber would get things going for the Phillies right off the bat with a home run to deep right, making it 1-0. In the second, Matt Burling would triple in Gene Segura to make it 2-0. Then Alec Bohm would go deep, scoring Bryce Harper as well to make it 4-0. Then Brandon Marsh would follow that up back to back, 5-0 Phillies. And then Matt Verling would go with another home run, a 2-run shot in that inning, make it 7-0. The top of the fourth, then Schwarber would hit his second homer of the game, making it 8-0. Garcia would double in Pelosius to make it 8-1, and Vargas would ground out, forcing in Luis Garcia to make it 8-2, and that was your final in game number 2. On the individual offensive numbers for the Phillies, obviously Schwarber 3 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and 2 home runs. Reese 1 for 4, who he continues to struggle. Bryce Harper 0 for 4. Alec Bohm 1 for 5, did have that home run and 2 RBIs. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4 with an RBI and a home run. Gene Segura 1 for 4 with 2 runs. Bryson Stott 1 for 4, and Matt Verling 2 for 4, 3 RBIs and that home run. I'm going to give my offensive player of the game honors to Kyle Schwarber. I got to give it to him. He did what Kyle Schwarber does best today, and that's hit home runs, and he did it twice. So kudos to him. He gets the nod. Nothing really to speak of on the national side when you only score 2 runs. So I'm not going to speak of it. Moving on to the pitching, Noah Syndergaard. Listen, I've been really down on what Noah Syndergaard has been able to provide the Phillies since coming here, and today, it might have been his best performance, or definitely top 2. He went 5.5, 2 hits, no runs. He struck out 2 and he walked 3. Connor Brogdon and Christopher Sanchez would come in. He pitched. Sanchez would get a 3 inning save as he went 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. Did walk one and strike out one, but Noah Syndergaard picks up the win. He's now 5-2, and I will hazard to say that that was probably his most um, dominant start as a Philly, which is not saying much. And I'm not saying he was dominant tonight, but you know, as far as his body of work so far with the Phillies is definitely up there. Tommy Romero got kind of bounced around. He gets the loss. He's 0-1. He went 3.5, 8 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Thompson, Ramirez, Cishek, Edwards, and Vargas all pitched as well as the Nationals went down by a final of 8-2. And there you have it, folks. A split. A split with the Nationals today in the doubleheader. Dave wants to know, let's all thank the Marlins. I hate having to depend on the other team to help us out. Unbelievable. Yeah, the Marlins battled. Marlins have been battling their asses off in this series against the Brewers. It's been actually some really good baseball to watch. I suggest if you're looking for some baseball to watch and it's not Phillies, go check out that Mariners Brewers series. It's been really good. And Dave kind of is a great segue into that. Um, after all the emotions today, all the ups and the downs, the Phillies find themselves a half a game still in that third wild card spot, and only now having their magic number reduced down to 3 now. So we're getting closer. And you know, do they deserve to be here? I don't know. That's really not for me to say. It's a matter of them trying to hang on. And then when you have a game like you had earlier today, when it was just so demoralizing to watch them get down early, battle their way back, and then just lose it, you start shaking your head and you start wondering about some things. And it's not like, again, it's new. We've been dealing with this all season long. So, but for the Phillies' credit, they battled their way back in game two and had a dominating performance, 5 home runs, highlighted by Schwarber's 2 home runs, and they get the win. They got a good pitching effort from Syndergaard, and they got the win. And tomorrow they look for that elusive 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. Um, Zach Wheeler will get the nod tomorrow at 1:35. First pitch, he'll be opposed by Patrick Corbin. So Wheeler 11-7 with a 2.92 ERA, looking to build off of that really good start he had the last time out. And Patrick Corbin 6-18 with a 6.08 ERA. And then if you're wondering, the Marlins and Brewers will be going at it tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 2:10 p.m. in Milwaukee. So a little scoreboard watching, I'm sure, will be going on tomorrow in DC as the Phillies and the Nationals wrap up their season series with each other, and the Phillies will then move on to Houston to finish up the year. And hopefully, when we leave DC tomorrow, our magic number is sitting at an elusive number 1. That would be great news, but would be surprised if it wasn't. But let's hope that they are. As far as what happened in Major League Baseball this evening, let's take a look at that right now, shall we? There was really only one game or 2 games really to concern ourselves with. I mean, let's face it, uh, catching the Padres is becoming a pipe dream. Let's face it. But the Padres did beat the White Sox tonight 5-2. But of course, that game that everyone was tuned into, or it's on everyone's minds. The Marlins came back, trailing 1-0 in the top of the ninth, came back and won the game 4-3. Thus taking now 2 games to 1 series lead uh, in that 4-game set with the Milwaukee Brewers and helping out the Phillies immensely. And folks, listen, let's kind of go here. I'm going to wrap this up tonight, but first, of course, big day tomorrow coming up on the network. Huge, obviously, Eagles football Sunday between EOP and the Painted Lines and Devereaux Sports. Actually, don't forget we're going to do some on the spot, on location, pregame and postgame live. The Eagles, Jaguars at the South House join EOP and certain members from EOP and the Painted Lines as they will be bringing you live pre and post game content from the South House in South Philadelphia. And then sometime tomorrow afternoon, make sure you're checking in with me as I'll be coming at you, hopefully talking about 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. And then we get that magic number down to 1 as we move on to Houston. And then later tomorrow night, the lacrosse boys hit you up with all lacrosse all the time. Philly, lacrosse, and beyond. So that's going on as well. And don't forget, if you need a bar in Delco and you're in Delco, you go no farther than Dolan's Bar. And then Philly Sports Trips. Tomorrow, don't forget, they have their tailgate over at the Gatehouse. Head over to phillysportstrips.com so you can get yourself some last minute tickets, and then also be checking out what the trips they have coming up. And as I mentioned, game day live tomorrow at the South House. Jaguars, Eagles. Join a bunch of the EOP and the Painted Lions personalities. Hang out with it for the day and enjoy some great Eagles football as the Eagles welcome back Doug Peterson and try to go to 4-0 on the season. And if you're having some issues or you need some questions answered about workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law, look no further than Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300. Tell him Matty B and the boys at EOP sent you, and he will take great care of you. Folks, I'm tired. It's been a long day for me. Here's to talking to you tomorrow when we're that much closer to getting in a playoff spot. A wide range of emotions today for Phillies fans, from the bottom of the ocean to the top of the mountain. But right now, we're on top for now. Let's continue to build this. We survived another day. Now we got to win one more game and keep this thing rolling. So that's going to do it for me. I don't think I have anything left. Let me think. What could I be missing? Harry the K. What you got?